breastises, like these squishy breastises balls. Hey guys, it's Manaya and welcome to the Manaya Show. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience working at Spencer's. So if you guys don't know what Spencer's is a store that's very similar to Hot Topic. They're practically the same. They sell like TV show, movie merchandise. They sell a lot of artist merch, like t-shirts. They sell things like wallets, lanyards. They have like jewelry, a lot of body jewelry. The only difference between like Spencer's and Hot Topic is that Spencer's has a love section, which is where they sell adult toys. Okay, so I'm gonna begin with my application process. So before I got hired at Spencer's, I just simply applied online on the Spencer's website, and the position is called a party host, which is like the same thing as a store associate. The whole motto with Spencer's is that life is a party, so they call our position party host instead of like retail associate. So yeah, and within 3 days I got a call back from a manager saying they would like me to come in for an interview. So I was super stoked. That was a pretty fast response. After I got the call, the next day I came in for an interview. Basically, I dressed all business casual. I looked nice. I was really concerned because I felt like I didn't match the whole vibe of Spencer's with like piercings and like colorful hair and like spunk that they have like at Spencer's. I just felt, kind of out of place. I was like, I didn't match the whole look of the store. But you know what? I said I came in, showed out, and did my best. I had like a sleeveless like businessy top with some business pants and some Sperry's. Nothing too formal, just a little bit of business, a little bit of casual. Mix it together. That's what I was that day. So basically, yeah. And for the interview, I just came in. I said, can I speak to the manager? I'm here for an interview. And after waiting 10 minutes in the store, I was like super nervous in the store, just waiting. I was looking at all the merchandise. Like, I was just like super scared. I was like looking at everything, touching stuff. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I felt really out of place because I felt like I didn't match the store. So I finally got to the interview. Most of the questions that I was asked was just like situational type questions. Like, she asked like, describe a time when this. When's the time you ever demonstrated leadership? When's the time you worked with a group? Describe a time when you had to deal with an issue, and how did you deal with that issue? Those type of situational questions, which I totally despise. But I answered them to my best ability. I just basically referred everything to my college experience because I am a college student. So I related everything to that, which was fine because that's all I had. And she basically asked me like when the days that I would be available. She asked if I was a student, which I said yes. That's pretty much it for like the basic questions. And then what really like was different, I never had this experience in an interview. She asked me to like give my best dad joke, and I was like, what? I was like, that really caught me off guard. And so I literally had no dad jokes in my mind. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, is this gonna mess up my interview, my lack of jokes? So the only thing I could think of is the scene in The Office where like Michael was like, smells like up dog in here, and then someone was like, what's up dog? And he's like, what's up? So that's the scene I used from The Office to use for my dad joke interview. That's what I used. So yeah, she totally laughed and like had good fun with that interview. And she, at the end of it, she was like, I really enjoyed this interview. You'll get a call back if we are going to hire you and whatnot. So I was really confident. I was like, I'm gonna get this. My office binging skills helped me with this interview. Later that night, I was by my phone, I'm like, I got this. I'm gonna get hired. So I waited all the way till midnight. I did not get a call. But okay, so practically 2 days later, I got a call back from her. And the reason why she didn't call me back on that day is because she wanted me to update some more references. So once I did that, she said I'd be hired, and the next week I finally got to work. So I was a little Spencer's party host, you know. And working at Spencer's, there's no uniform policy. When I came in to give her my information, I asked her, like, so do we have like uniform or anything, any t-shirt? She just told me literally, as long as your boobs and your butt is not hanging out, you're fine. So no boobs, no booty, wear what you want practically. So now moving on, for my training lasted 4 to 5 shifts. So basically it was a online portal work thing that Spencer's has, where you answer questions, you learn about the history of the store, you learn all the information and things that you need to be working at Spencer's, how to greet customers. You learn about body jewelry, the different types of like piercings. You learn about the love adult section. So after training, so after those 4 to 5 shifts of complete training where I was not on register, I just basically would go around and say hi to customers, which is the main thing they focus on at Spencer's. They really make sure that you are greeting guests and informing them about new deals that are going on. So after training, I was finally able to teach me how to use the register, which is pretty simple. It's like any other register anywhere else, pretty simple, nothing extra. But besides register, you do fold clothes, you fold the t-shirts basically. You make the items look nice, you make sure everything's front facing, you make sure everything is fully stocked in the stores. So yeah, so basically register, greet guests, inform guests about deals, and you fold shirts, you make things look pretty. So that's basically all I do at Spencer's. It's really the same thing. There's no real surprise there. Like each shift, I knew I was coming to do the same exact things. So it's a really good beginner job. Like if you're like wanting to work in retail, but you're scared of retail, and like it's like a first job for you, this is a really good job for that. It was pretty simple, nothing pretty hard. So now I'm going to talk about the benefits and pay you get at Spencer's. So we just got minimum wage, and minimum wage here is $8.05. It's not that much. It's a good beginner job. I was just a store associate. I was not a supervisor or manager. I think those positions do pay a little bit higher, but do not fret. In addition to your pay, you do get a 30% discount on all items in the store, which was super great. And also every month they'd have this at weekend, and they call it Streetwise Weekend, where around payday you get 40% off of merchandise, and it's only once a month for a weekend out of that month. So yeah, so once a month you get that 40% off, and during that time it was the holidays, so I bought all my gifts at Spencer's. So that was pretty good. And I got myself a couple things. I got this ramen noodle blanket that I cuddle with every night, because what's better than sleeping with ramen noodles? Nothing. Well, some things that I liked about working at Spencer's is that every time you go there, it's gonna be pretty lively, and it's a very fun vibe. Like you got music, you know, you got like fun people coming in. The people you work with are usually cool. Yeah, it's really fun and lively. I didn't really have much of a problem working at Spencer's. But now on to dislikes. Some things I disliked about it is just that the store is like really small, and it was so repetitive. Like when I got to the second month, I was kind of like, is this it? Like you just do the same thing, stocking, register. But that's pretty much what you do at all retail stores. But I felt like our store was so small and so like cramped, where it's like it's the same thing, the same circle. It's like this is Spencer's, and it's like me doing the same thing in it. But also one thing I did not like is that I, specifically at my Spencer's, I had a really rude manager who would always like, you get that at certain jobs. He just was really just mean. I feel like he was out to get me, and he really made my experience working there quite sour. But I also had some really nice supervisors that were pretty laid back and super nice, which would make my time working there pretty good. So besides that, you know, sucky manager, if he's watching this, I hope you know I do not like you. But basically, I had a pretty simple, great time working at Spencer's. Pretty easy job. Like I said, folding, greeting customers, register. How easy can it get? About some really, you know, fun experiences I had working at Spencer's. So, as you know, Spencer's is a store. They do sell like adult toys, and oh my goodness, that's literally the first spot. Like anyone who comes in, they go straight to the back, straight to the toys, straight to the back, straight to that section. That's literally what everyone does when they go to Spencer's. Like Spencer's is known for the back, like the back section of the store where they have all that fun adult stuff. So yeah, so I would have a lot of like 13 and 14-year-old like teens, middle schoolers come in and go to the back and touch everything. Like we had this hat, this hat that had a particular male reproductive organ sticking out the hat, and every day, every shift, it would be placed somewhere different. It would be a surprise to where I would find that hat. And yeah, and we also had like breastises, like these squishy breastises balls that would be moved around. Toys would be open, yada yada, and it'd be so, I would get like a lot of questions of people asking me like which toy was best to use. I don't really know much about that beyond what I learned from the Spencer's training thing. I used that knowledge to give them, but if I didn't know, I would just refer them to my manager. But they would ask me, which toy is good for this? I'd be like, and then just refer them to my manager, because I don't know, I am not a toy expert. But yeah, so pretty much that. Another funny thing that happened was like when it was the holiday season when I worked there, and I feel bad for the poor little kids who come in with their parents, and they would see all the Santa things, and they had like this animated Santa that would say, ho ho ho, have a merry effing Christmas. And this one little boy, 7-year-old little boy, would always come in and touch it, and then he would be like, why is Santa saying bad words? And I'd look at him and I'll just be like, you know, Santa's just having a hard time. He would always come in my store and like touch the Santa. I don't know where his parents were. Another funny thing is that there would be this one particular group of like young girls who looked like they were in middle school, and they would come in all the time and buy like whips and handcuffs and lingerie. I'm like, what a freaky bunch of middle schoolers. Like they would come in all the time with a little allowance money and buy up all of that. Like, no, that's none of my business, but it was funny seeing them buy all that. They would buy a lot of it too, not just like one little handcuff. And they'd be so confident in like buying it. Like they would get, like, I'm pretty sure that they provided most of the store's funds. Like they would come in like every week and buy up that stuff. But you know, I wonder how they're doing too. Oh my goodness, I had such an embarrassing moment when I worked at Spencer's. So a lot of times I would forget like where I am in Spencer's. I keep forgetting like this is Spencer's. It's like, you know, they have the adult stuff, you know what I'm saying? I always forget like where I am. So a customer was like saying, I swear a customer was saying, does like what does your butt do? He kept saying like, what does your butt does? I'm like, what is he saying? What does your butt does? Like, what is, I was like, excuse me? Then he's like, oh, where are your butt plugs? And I was like, oh. And I had to think like, what? And I was like, oh, I'm at Spencer's. So that was pretty embarrassing. For a good like 5 minutes, he was trying to say, where are the butt plugs? So that was pretty embarrassing. But yeah. Oh my gosh, another funny thing that I'm just remembering. So there's this guy that comes in, and he was like whispering to me, how can I get in correction? I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, do you have anything for me to get an erection? So I point him to the male adult toys, and he's like, do you have something a little stronger? I'm like, excuse me? Like, do you have a pill? And I'm like, no, we don't have any pills. I'm like, pill? He's like, do you have Viagra? I'm like, no, we don't have Viagra here. He's like, do you know where I can get some? I'm like, sir, I honestly do not know. And then he just was like, okay. And then he left the store. And I really liked it. During the holiday time, I got to help people pick out gifts for their friends and family. I got to help out this girl pick out a whole bunch of stuff for a bachelorette party, which is my specialty. I love bachelorette parties, and I helped her pick out a whole bunch of things, and I help people pick out birthday gifts, and that's my specialty. I feel like I'm a good gift giver, and so that store during the holiday time, I was a total asset to the store. Overall, good experience, can't really complain. Shout out to my awesome supervisors. If they see this video, you rock. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Or if you have any questions you don't want to put in the comments, I do leave my Instagram here. You can DM me. Thanks for watching.